What's up, Taiwan? Good evening. I'm Erika Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. U.S. President Joe Biden has vowed to make his Russian counterpart pay a price for invading Ukraine. In his first State of the Union address, Biden said Vladimir Putin had reinvigorated the Western alliance. But in Ukraine, the bloodshed continues, with Russian forces escalating their attacks on crowded urban areas. Louise Watt reports.
The city building in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, after a Russian military strike. A voice can be heard over the video. Ukraine's president called the attack on Kharkiv's Independence Square frank, undisguised terror, and said there were dozens of casualties. Russia also attacked a TV tower in the capital, Kyiv, intensifying its bombardment of urban areas in what could signal a change in tactics as its advancement stalls. The crisis in Ukraine was a major part of President Biden's State of the Union address in Washington on Tuesday. He said Russian President Putin had sought to shake the foundations of the free world.
But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people.
President Biden said the U.S. would join allies in closing its country's airspace to Russian planes. But he didn't announce that the U.S. would establish a no-fly zone over Ukraine or put boots on the ground, something that Ukraine's president has urged the U.S. and NATO to do.
Говорили багато разів з президентом Байденом. Я вдячний йому за ці і можливості, і допомогу. Вони також мене не чули. Я їм говорив, що Україна буде боротися, ви побачите, міцніше за всіх. Але одні ми на самоті з Росією ми просто не зможемо.
Russia reiterated it was only carrying out strikes on military targets and not civilians. Speaking remotely to a UN human rights meeting in Geneva, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov justified its invasion by accusing Ukraine of an aggressive assimilation policy for those in the country with Russian backgrounds.
Людям, которые считают себя русскими, хотели бы сохранить свою идентичность, свой язык, свою культуру, прямо дает понять, что на Украине они чужие.
Diplomats walked out of that address to show their opposition. There was also a walkout earlier on the same day when Lavrov said Russia was trying to prevent Ukraine getting nuclear weapons. A sharp contrast to the standing ovation Ukraine's President Zelensky got when he addressed the European Union and again pleaded with the body to let his country in.
Це найголовніша наша мотивація. Але ми боремося і за те, щоб бути рівноправними членами Європи. Я вважаю, що сьогодні ми всім показуємо, що ми такі є.
Their fight continues. Despite continuing Russian attacks, Kharkiv, the capital Kyiv, and other major locations throughout the country, although in pieces, remain in Ukrainian hands. Karma Xu and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's politicians are doing their part to help the people of Ukraine. President Tsai is donating 1 month's salary to support relief operations in the country. That's more than $17,000 US. Other officials from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, the Vice President and Premier are also donating their salaries. And top officials and other prominent politicians from the main opposition Kuomintang have committed to do the same. Former U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Taipei on Wednesday. Deputy Foreign Minister Harry Tsai greeted Pompeo and his wife Susan after they landed at the Songshan airport. It's the second high-profile U.S. group to land in Taiwan in just over 24 hours. While serving under former President Donald Trump, Mike Pompeo oversaw closer bilateral ties, including increased U.S. arms sales to Taiwan and the lifting of restrictions on visits by top U.S. officials. During his trip to Taiwan, Pompeo will speak at a local think tank and meet Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen. He spoke briefly to media gathered at the airport when he arrived.
It is wonderful to be here. I've been looking forward to coming to visit with the people of Taiwan for a very long time. And I'm so much looking forward to my trip to meet with business people, people from government, people all across your great nation.
President Tsai has met with an unofficial U.S. delegation in Taipei headed by former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mike Mullen. Both Tsai and Mullen reaffirmed the strength of Taiwan-U.S. ties, especially amid challenges to global democracy such as Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Tsai said that Taiwan condemns Russian aggression, has joined in sanctions against Russia, and is sending aid to Ukrainians in need. She also said that now is a time when democracies must rally together.
因为历史经验告诉我们，对侵略行为冷眼姑息，就是为自己制造更多的威胁。这是全球民主国家团结的时刻，台湾也不能够缺席。
Mullen said that his delegation's visit comes amid a difficult and critical moment in world history, but he had words of praise for Taiwan's handling of the challenges it faces.
Today, Madam President, this delegation is proud to be visiting one of the world's most vibrant democracies. Taiwan is tackling the leading challenges of our time, whether it be a global pandemic or corrosive disinformation and malign influence, without sacrificing core democratic values.
To discuss the significance of the U.S. delegation's visit to Taiwan, we spoke with J. Michael Cole, a senior non-resident fellow at the Washington-based Global Taiwan Institute.
This is the latest in a long series of these visits to Taiwan. Certainly given the current context with the crisis in Ukraine and apprehensions that perhaps Beijing would seek to exploit the situation, this is a kind of visit to Taiwan that sends a signal of reassurance that is noted by the people here, but also will be noted by the government in Beijing. It's important to do that. That follows upon the transit in the Taiwan Strait by a U.S. Navy vessel at the weekend as well. Demonstrates that while the United States is heavily involved in the crisis over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, it also is not distracted from its commitments in other parts of the world, and certainly here in East Asia.
More and more pit bulls are being abandoned by their owners in Taiwan. That was the word from animal protection workers as a new ban on raising or breeding pit bulls went into effect on Tuesday. Now, it should be noted that people who already own a pit bull can keep the pet as long as they register their furry friend. TaiwanPlus' Erika Liu has more.
Dangerous animals? Already labeled as an aggressive breed last August, it is now illegal in Taiwan to have a pit bull. The ban follows a spate of attacks by the breed, including the death of a 3-year-old boy in southern Pingtung County last December. Current owners can keep their animals, but the dogs have to be chipped and registered, and the owners must register as well. With the ban, many owners have abandoned their pit bulls or given them up to animal shelters.
还是会发现有一些就是没有做宠灯的比特犬送来到收容所，那我们也可以归类说这样是一个弃养的行为。
Shelters are working hard to find these pit bulls new families, and some have already been rehomed.
都跟认养人讲得很清楚，你应该遵守的规定就是你要戴嘴套，你要系牵绳，然后不得放养。
Pit bull owners who fail to follow these rules face fines of over $5,000 US. Anyone who illegally owns or breeds the dogs could be fined almost $9,000. According to the Council of Agriculture, there were 4,686 pit bulls registered in Taiwan as of January. Owners have until the end of next February to register, after which they could be penalized. Animal protection workers are urging pit bull owners to follow protocol and not abandon their pets to avoid causing further problems for the breed. Alex Chen and Erika Liu for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Erika Liu. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with footage of some stray cats playing with model trains in a Japanese restaurant. Take care and see you next time.